Buddy heater is acting up and not sure what's going on with it. We got a yellow flame. You can hear I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. But the pilot won't stay on. So we're going to see what's wrong with it. Okay, time to open this thing up and see what's going on in there. And hopefully fix it up. So first thing I want to do, take off this guard in the front and drop it out. I'm going to take a look inside this pilot with a Q-tip and see if I notice anything. It's not wet. Doesn't seem like there's a problem right there on the end. Yeah, there's some oil in there. Some kind of oil. Alright, so I got to get into that tube. So there's some screws on the side, I've noticed. They're down here on the bottom. The one on top. Right up behind the handle. And I don't think you could see it, but anyway, there's one there. We'll take this side cover off. It looks like the easiest thing to do, and go from there, see what we can access. Give me a minute. Okay, looks like there's a few screws holding this handle together, and it's probably not going to allow this side off till I get rid of this. So we'll do the handle and see what's in there. Once again, I'll be right back. Okay, top part of that comes off, and another screw, probably one on the back. Pop them off. Yeah, not bad. Kind of normal stuff. And there you go. You get the idea. Okay, on this handle, I can see there's a metal spring washer. I'm going to pull this slightly, stretching it out. The washer fell. There we go. And there's a plastic washer and a metal spring washer. It belongs on both sides. There's one for both sides. So the metal washer is on the outside, the plastic washer goes on the inside. Anyway, now you know that. Be ready for that. And we'll see if we can pop this side off now. Give me a minute. Okay, nothing seems to want to come apart here. So I'm going to take the other screws out on this side, and perhaps the metal comes out. Okay, here's a tip for you. You have deep well holes for the screws. Sometimes it's hard to get the screws out. magnets. If you got a single magnet or whatever, you can sometimes magnetize it by swiping it across the magnet face a few times and then stick your screwdriver in there and bring it out. On occasion, sometimes you got to leave it on there and pull it out. But it's an easy way to magnetize your screwdriver for putting them in also, as well as taking them out. It really sticks to it good. Just a little trick. Okay, let's see if that metal will pop out now. Yeah, lift up on the back. There we go. Oh yeah, nice. 2 more screws. That's probably what's holding this plastic in. Few cobwebs. Nothing major. Little dust, nothing much. Okay. I see. Alright. So there's the orifice down in there for the propane to come out. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. I don't know if it'll work or not. We'll try. Kinda. Anyway, the gas comes through the tube over there and it shoots up through where it drags in air from the surrounding atmosphere here. So as the gas goes shooting up through, it draws in the air and mixes it to make it combustible. But that back tube is the one we're worried about. The one on the back going down around the bottom. Okay. So looks like I could take it off here. And if I can get the front off, I might be able to reach it from the front in there and hose the whole thing out with some carburetor cleaner. So we're going to try. So I'm going to take these screws out on top, see if I can get this front panel off. Alright, looks like, if it'll focus, yeah, there we go. There's a screw right here on the side that's just holding the side onto the metal part. So we'll get that out of there. Alright, now maybe just needs a little wiggling. Maybe. Still feels like there's one more screw out in front here. So maybe we have to do something else to get to it. I don't know. I'll try this side here. We'll see if we can get that loose. I know you can't see what I'm doing, huh? Get the other one out on this side here. Nope. There's something up front holding it. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll let you know. Okay, a lot going on here. There's 4 screws holding that front plate, the black painted area on. So there and there's 2 more. Now that loosens this up. Hopefully enough to get, there we go. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. And sure enough, there are 2 more screws in there holding the sides on, right about here and here. So there's a screw holding the pilot area on. I guess I'm going to have to loosen that up too. Yep, way down in there. So there we go. See if you can see it down in there, way down in there. Okay. Now that I have a magnetic screwdriver, I don't lose it. Okay. Surely. There we go. Now we got it. Let's see what we got here. Alright. A lot of messing around. But I still got to get this side loose. There's a screw back in there, see it? That's holding that side, the plastic side off. Because I still got to get in here to the pilot tube so that I can blow it out. So I'll have access to it here, and I can blow it the whole way back after I loosen it from the switch, because the valve, so I don't want to be putting carburetor cleaner through that valve and swell up rubber seals or anything. So okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'll take his side off. Okay, now with the last screw out. There we go. Finally. There. Now here's the pilot tubing going down. That's the only one I want to mess with. The gas seems to be okay, so I'm just going to tear that one open. Both ends, try to hose it out with some carb cleaner. Speaking of it, I forgot to tell you, up in here there were 2 more screws holding this top on, which I had to take out. Okay. You can just see them right there and there. So I had to pop those out too to get this top front cover out. Wanted to make mention of that before I went past it too far. Forgot. Okay, finally. Now there's a wire that was connected to a device. I don't know if it's a tip over device or whatever, I'm not sure. But whatever it is, there's a wire connected to it for the spark ignition. Oh no, that's not the ignition. Never mind. That's the temperature sensor. Okay. That's temperature sensor. So now that that's disconnected, this should just about pop out. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah. Hopefully you can see it. There's an oil film right there. I just got it on my finger. So there it is. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a oil film in there. A little bit of oil, some kind of silicone or something. Maybe from the tubing. But that's it. Get all the way down in there just for that. Anyway, we're going to take this off here and blow out this tube. Make sure that that's clean with a Q-tip. And yeah, that's oil. Okay, there's our problem. Okay, I'm going to try this. It was leaking out on my fingers a little bit. I don't know if there's any more left. I'm just going to tilt this tube over and see if anything comes out. Yep. See it? There it is. Buildup of oil. So that's what was gurgling inside the machine. So I'm going to clean this out. I'm going to clean this out. There's nothing else to clean because it all came down to the bottom and settled down in here. As long as this whole tube is dry, that should be all of it that there is. Alright, I'm going to blow it out with some carb cleaner. I'll take you outside. How's that? We'll do it outside. Alright, let's give this a shot. There we go. Okay, if you got to blow the tube out, just clean off the end, blow it out. I don't know if I got that or not. Hopefully there was a little bit in there. Just make sure it's dry. You don't want that liquid carb cleaner coming out of there. Make sure it's dry. If you got to do whatever you got to do, maybe set it in the sun for a minute even. Won't hurt it while I clean out the inside of that heater. Okay, whenever you put this back together, make sure that you use 2 wrenches and you crank down on it pretty firmly so that you don't have any gas leaks. Just make sure it's tight and secured, okay? And generally in that configuration, so that when it's down in there, it matches up with the side, with your valve here, okay? And then line it up and tighten it up. Make sure that it's secured. Make sure that it's tight. When you go to put this wire back on, there's a little tiny pin that held it in place that was on there secured pretty well. But taking it off sometimes will stretch these loops out, and you want to crimp them shut again a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Just give them a little crimp to make sure that they get a good connection. Remember, not a lot. It's about half the opening that you see. Just give it a little push, and that'll make it tighter on the terminal when you go to put it on this terminal here, which is right there. Okay, and make sure that it feels secure, feels tight, makes a good connection. If it's loose like that, it's not tight enough. So I'm going to pop it back off, recrimp it a little bit, and just put it on there a little bit tighter, just to make sure that it gets a super good connection. You don't want this thing failing on you, you know, when you need the heat the most. Okay. So just make sure it's a nice tight crimp and that it fits on there good and snug and it's not loose. This one's wiggling a little bit. Okay, it's just too loose. Alright, I'm going to crimp it a little bit more and put it back on. Okay, hopefully you could tell that's definitely tighter than what it was. Okay, so it's not loose on that pin. This whole thing's moving. Okay, but that pin is tight. So make sure you put your insulation back down over it, and then we're done with that section. As you can see, I screwed the screw in from behind, and the whole pilot area is in its little pocket, and you can see how it's placed in there, just so yours looks the same. Okay, it's time to put these 4 screws back in for the front plate, that black So if you remember, these 4 screws got to go in, and we'll tighten them up a little bit more. We don't want them coming loose from expanding and contracting, so I will tighten them up a little bit. I like to have them all in to make sure that they don't need to be realigned or anything. Then I'll go over and crank them down. Don't forget any of this stuff. The big thing is those pipes, the tubing there for the pilot light and everything. Make sure that those joints are nice and tight. No leaks. You can't afford a leak in this thing. There we go, nice and tight. We'll keep on going, putting screws back in the same way you took them out. Pretty much it. Okay, fun part now. Trying to get these 2 items in here and held into place so that I can get this on without dropping it, which I just did. There we go. Get one side in. The other side might go in easier if we're lucky. Okay, I'm just going to leave this loose for now. I'm going to do the other side. I just didn't want to lose that one that I had already gotten in. Okay. Remember, metal on the outside, plastic on the inside. Not too bad. Looks good. Cool. Alrighty, let's give her a shot. Yeah, I ran the air out. I cheated. But I haven't done this before. Let's see if it works. Yes. Good deal. Looks a lot better than it did before. Oh yeah, she's heating. Woohoo! Okay, but at least the flame's blue, not yellow. It's not spitting, it's not hissing or gurgling. So, mission accomplished. Now I can take it in the house. I wanted to do it before I took it into the house and used it. I wanted to make sure it worked good out here. So, we'll take off my fuel keg. There we go. Yep, that works. Got a nice capper on top. That way it actually seals it. There we go. Another job.